our class today is officially started. We're going to give everyone else like 1 or 2 minutes to come in, like we always do. In the meantime, I'm going to put the question of the day for you guys. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, that is your question of the day. If you had any 2 powers, what would they be? Write your answers on the chat. So it could be any type of superhero powers. Just something to think about, right? Meanwhile, we wait for everyone else to come into the group. Si tuvieras 2 poderes, ¿qué poderes escogerías? Escribe tus respuestas en los chats. Let's give everyone another minute. Meanwhile, I'll take a sip of my coffee. Who else just came in? No. Okay, let's start reading the responses. So, Eduardo says speed. Aaron, molten lava and fire powers. Eduardo, teleportation. I would like that one too. Teleportation. Deshaun, muscle and invisibility. Lawrence to be invisible and fly. That's pretty cool. And Angel Carrasco, teleportation and immortality. Wow. Immortality. Ryan just joined our chat. Good morning, Ryan. The question of the day is, if you had any 2 powers, which would they be? Or what kind of powers would you choose? That is pretty cool. I would do the teleportation. I would definitely do the flying. And then I don't know about you guys, but on Netflix, they put the Last Airbender, which is a show when you guys were born, even before you were born. I remember I was like in high school when that show came out. So that show is really old. It's like 20 years old. And I started watching it again. And in the Last Airbender, they have all these amazing powers and like, you know, so I would definitely be like an airbender if that was my choice. Okay, let's see. Ryan, he likes to fly and to read minds. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Fly and to read minds. Okay, let's take attendance. Vamos a tomar attendance. Let's see who is here. Today is today's the 17th. Is Angel Alvarez here? He is not. Aaron is not here, right? He's absent. I'm just kidding. Lawrence, Angel Carrasco, Eduardo Gonzalez. Julian is not here today. Yeah. Tommy's not here today. Richard is not here today. Nevaeh is not here today. Deshaun and okay. So I just took attendance. More people might come into the chat, guys. Let me know. I think I got everyone else. Okay. Okay, great. So you guys would choose those powers. It is time for class. Let's wake up. I know we are sleepy. I know that a lot of stuff is going on. But guess what, guys? Today is day number 9. day number 9 of summer school, meaning after today, we only have 4 more days left, and that's it. So just a quick reminder, make sure you're finishing your homeworks. Let me go into Google Classroom for y'all. You have a bunch of assignments that, remember, we're supposed to do 2 assignments per week, 1 reading homework and 1 spelling homework. Your spelling homework, I'm going to put that up today. Like literally at the end of class, I'm going to put that up. So your spelling homework, I'm going to put it up. So you're going to have homework today and it's going to be due tomorrow for spelling. And then you have extra credit. If by any chance you missed any homeworks for the first week and you no longer have access to those homeworks, unfortunately, because we're doing a point system, guys, a reward system, that means that I'm not going to give extra opportunities for you guys. You have to be on track of your own work, right? Now, there's extra credit assignments to make up for anything that you missed, and also to get more points. One of the homeworks for this week is, I posted this yesterday, the class reward points. So if you want to look at your points, guys, remember, this is not for editing purposes. This is just for you to view. Just click on it. And for example, right now in the lead, we have Aaron. Aaron has a total of 37 points without the achieve articles. And I think, who else? Julian. I think Julian has 36 points. And Angel Carrasco has 36 points, followed by Nevea with 27. And that's basically it. And then you have Ryan with 24 points. So that is the point system for our
But I have 33.
I'm sorry, sir. I did not see that. Where are you? Yes, you are right here. Deshaun has 33. So he's leading with 33 points. So remember, that is excluding the achieve articles. Those are the points without the achieve articles. So if you've done achieve articles, I'm going to check that at the end of the week, most likely tomorrow or Friday. And then I'm going to update those points at the end of the week on Friday. So a lot of you guys are hitting 40s already. Remember, as part of the reward system, and I'm going to show this for you, it is mandatory for you to get 50 points. 50 points is what you should get. If you want to get an A, if you want to get a passing for everything, you're supposed to get 50 points because you're supposed to have perfect attendance and have all the homework assignments completed. But if you make it to 50 points, and remember, we only have 4 more classes for you to make it to 50 points, then this is what you get. Anything above that, if you make it to 65 points, this is what you get, and so forth and so on. So let's see how many people get those prizes. Just a quick reminder for you guys so that you guys can see that you're supposed to be doing all the homeworks. Again, if you were absent and you missed any classes, we have the live class videos right here. Day 1 all the way to day 8, which was yesterday. Every single video is posted for you to watch if you miss any classes or if you were absent and you want to see what happened. These are all the exit tickets, guys, that we have. All the exit tickets are graded. See, I graded all of them. So if you want to look at your grade, if you want to look at your test that we took last Thursday, everything was graded. Okay. And then this is for today, and it is due at the end of class. No one should be doing that right now. For the homework for this week, the Bill of Rights, week number 3, I see 9 people already turned it in. That is the homework for this week. However, if you didn't do the homework for week 2 and week 1, it's right there. And then you have spelling homework for week 1 and week 2. Spelling homework for week 3, I am going to put it up today. Though the reason I didn't put it up yet is because today we're going to do a word study that has to do with the homework. So I wanted to show you guys the word study lesson before I gave you the homework. That way you know exactly what to do. And that's basically it. This is the time for questions. Do you guys have any questions about anything? About any homework assignments? No. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Okay, great. Eduardo says no. Good morning, Ms. McGurl. Anyone else came in? Nope, that's it. Okay, we're going to start our lesson. And this is not a lesson. So I'm going to need some volunteers to help me. The name of the passage that we're going to read today is Hoop Games. Who is going to read the first paragraph? Aaron wants to read the first paragraph. Deshaun wants to read the second paragraph. Anyone else? Eduardo, Lawrence, Angel, Ryan. Who else wants to read? We're gonna start with those two. Remember for class participation. You may start, Aaron.
Hoop games. Every day, children can be found playing games at recess. The history of some games might be unknown, but we know the history of hoop games, which started long, long ago.
And now Deshaun.
Thousands of years ago, ancient Greek and Romans used hoops for fun and exercise. These early hoops was made out of metal. Artwork from that time shows children and adults rolling hoops. In these games, people will hit a hoop with a stick to get it rolling, and then they will run after it, trying to keep the hoop going.
Perfect. In the 1400s, hoop rolling was popular in England. In fact, it was so popular that the colonists brought the game with them to America. The children in the colonial times would have hoop contests. They would play to see how far and fast they could push the hoop with sticks. Some children would play a game called races, in which a child would hold a hoop on two cross sticks, then toss the hoop to another person. This person would try to catch it with one of the sticks. In the 1800s, hoop rolling became more popular than ever. Many paintings of children from this time include hoops. Children began to play some different games, such as such as trying to knock objects over with rolling hoops and using the hoops for skipping. Many of these games were played on city streets. The hoops were made from both metal and wood, but wooden hoops were more popular. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, children continued to play similar hoop games. However, city streets started to become more crowded, and the children were in the way of other people. The popularity of hoop rolling games came to an end. Today, people still play with hoops, but in different ways. That is very interesting. Okay, hoop games. So the first question is, what is the overall structure of this selection? By structure is talking about like the way that the passage is written. Is it in chronological? Is it cause and effect? Is it problem and solution? Or is it compare and contrast? Remember, we have to read the article twice. So I'm going to read it again for you one more time. At this time, please pay attention to what's going on in the story. Hoop games. Every every day, children can be found playing games at recess. The history of some games may be unknown, but we know the story of hoop games, which started long ago. Thousands of years ago, ancient Greeks and Romans used hoops for fun and exercise. These early hoops were made out of metal. Artwork from that time shows children and adults rolling hoops. In these games, people would hit a hoop with a stick to get it rolling, and then they would run after it, trying to keep the hoop going. In the 1400s, hoop rolling was popular in England. In fact, it was so popular the colonists brought the game with them to America. And children in colonial times would have hoop contests. They would play to see how far and fast they could push the hoop with the sticks. Some children would play a game called races, in which a child would hold a hoop on two cross sticks, then toss the hoop to another person. This person would try to catch it with one of the sticks. In the 1800s, hoop rolling became more popular than ever. Many paintings of children from this time included hoops. Children began to play some different games, such as trying to knock objects over with the rolling hoops and using hoops for skipping. Many of these games were played on city streets. The hoops were made from both metal and wood, but wooden hoops were more popular. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, children continued to play similar hoop games. However, city streets started to become more crowded, and the children were in the way of other people. The popularity of hoop rolling games came to an end. Today, people still play with hoops, but in different ways. Okay, so choose one of these answers. Is the story or is the passage written in chronological order? Chronological order means that it's from the beginning, like it talks about like the beginning towards the end. Is it a cause and effect? Is it a problem and solution? Or is it comparing and contrasting? Write your responses in the chat. I want to see how your answers. Okay. B, A. Eduardo says A. Aaron says A. Good morning, Richard. Richard just came in. Buenos dias. Let me mark you in, Richard. Okay. So most people are putting A. Go back to the story, the passage. Chronological order again, it means from the beginning towards the end. In this case, it started with ancient Greeks, right? It started talking about thousands of years ago. Then it talked about the 1400s in England. Then it talked about the 1800s. And then it talked about the early 18 to 1900s. Yes, chronological order would be the answer. However, I would argue, who just answered? Like a timeline. You're right. And remember the timeline that we did yesterday? The past 2 days we've been doing timelines, and it shows the years. So even though it's kind of going backwards from the 1400s, it's technically in chronological order. It's talking to us about the history of hoops and how children play with them, beginning in ancient times with the Greeks, throughout the 1400s, throughout the 1800s, throughout present times. However, it is a little bit tricky because some people can say it is compare and contrast. We're comparing the different time periods from the 1400s to the 1800s. For the purpose of this passage, the answer is actually A. But if you pick D, you wouldn't be wrong either because it is comparing hoops from different time periods. But let's pick A. Second question. In which detail from the selection gives clues about the overall structure? So for this question, you're going to choose a sentence or a couple of words from the passage directly as your evidence. So which evidence would you choose to give you a clue about the overall structure of this passage? So think about what Aaron just said. Aaron just told us about the timeline. And what does a timeline really have? What makes it a timeline? So just to give you a clue, which is the best evidence that you would choose from question number 1 about the structure of this passage for it to make sense? Is it F, in the 1400s, hoop rolling was popular? Is it G, how far and fast they could push the hoop? Is it H, hoop rolling became more popular? Or is it J, children were in the way? Let's give you guys another 10 seconds. Let me see. People are saying F. People are saying F. People are saying F. Any other answers? Remember, just because people put F, that doesn't mean it's correct. Nope. The correct answer is F. Can someone come off of mute and tell me why you picked F as your answer?
Because in the 1400s, it was popular because like what they did was for exercise and fun,
Okay, that's
and
really good.
basically,
That's really good. But what does that have to do with the structure? Let's think about the question
well, what does that have to do with the structure? Well,
of the
the only
passage.
thing it has to do with the structures because all these hundreds became like more popular over time, and people started using it,
Okay,
and
thank you.
and they even had to be king so they would try to catch us. Things.
Okay, thank you for your response. Anyone else would like to say something?
Me?
What happened, Aaron? Why do you think
Um,
that's? What does that have to do with the structure?
I
The
think
name.
I had to do like go back to the question.
Okay, give me 1 second. Julian just came in.
Okay.
That's Julian. Go back to the question right here.
So once I said about the timeline, I had to do the 1400s one, and it was overall just like the main idea. It did say that hoop rolling was popular during the back, like
Mhm.
back during the ages.
But we have to be careful because this question is not talking about the main idea, though. The question is talking about the overall structure of the passage. So I like what you said at the beginning because you picked timeline, right? And
Mhm.
timeline means dates, right? Like years and numbers.
Mhm. Just
So
like
this
in
is,
the 1400s.
so this is the only answer that has like a year giving it like a timeline. The structure we said is chronological order, and chronological is from the beginning and the end. So this is the only answer that has some kind of number, or it, not necessarily number, but it has some kind of time period.
Got it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for participating. Thank you, Deshaun. Deshaun gave a really good answer about like what was happening in the story. Question
Thank
number.
you, thank you, thank
You're welcome. Question number 3. What do most Greek and Roman hoop games have in common with English and American ones? So this is comparing and contrasting, guys. This question is comparing and contrasting. What do most Greek and Roman hoop games have in common with English and American ones? We could go back if you don't remember. Thousands of years ago, ancient Greek and Romans used hoops for fun exercise. These early hoops were made out of metal. So Greek and Roman hoops were made out of metal. Artwork from that time shows children resulting hoops. In these games, people would hit a hoop with a stick to get it rolling, and then they would run after it. And then having common with English and Americans. It was so popular, colonists brought the game with them to America. The children in the colonial towns would have hoop contests. They would play to see how far and fast they could push the hoop with sticks. Some children would play a game called races, in which a child would hold the hoop on 2 cross sticks and toss the hoop to one another. And then in the 1800s, it became popular, knocking objects, rolling hoops, but wooden hoops were more popular. So which is the best answer, guys? Is it A, is it B, is it C, or is it D? Think about what it's saying. It's saying what do they have in common with English and American ones. So you saw some differences. With what I just read to you guys, there were differences. Let's not get confused on the differences. What do they have in common? What is something that they both have in common? Angel Carrasco says A. Deshaun says they have metal. Aaron says A.
No, I said B.
You
It's
said
just
B.
because I said it's so A for you because like you forgot to say A. Hoops. The hoops were metal for Deshaun, and I said so A.
you. Yeah, I did forget to say A though.
So my answer was B, not A.
So you're saying sticks.
Yes.
Okay. Aaron, you're onto something. Let's see. Anyone has a different answer? Everyone is saying A, and B. Okay, so the answer is not A because not all of the hoops are made out of metal. A lot of the hoops in the Americas in the 1800s were made out of wood, so you have to pay attention. That could be, if they asked us about like some differences, yes, that would be correct. But it talks about some of them being made out of wood, so not all of them were made out of metal. Okay, so that would be a difference. But if we keep reading, so they brought the games with them to the
Shut up,
colony.
Blue.
D cannot be the answer. D cannot be the answer because that has nothing to do with what they have in common. So A and D are out, right? Then we have B and C. The games needed sticks to play. Is that true, Aaron? Where do you find that?
Um, from the Geeks and Romans because it says roaming hoops. That's what it said that they can like grab a stick and just like hit the hoop so it can roll down. And that's what the England and America did too.
That is correct. So the answer is B. So if you look at the passage, it talks about how in the colonial times they needed sticks, and then in the Roman times they also needed sticks, and in the 1800s as well they also needed sticks. So that's something that they have in common, right? So the question was, what do most Greek and Roman hoops games have in common with English and American ones? The games needed sticks to be played with, and that is correct. Even though the hoops could be made out of metal or wood, this is a similarity that they all would have, and that is correct. Thank you, Aaron. So you have to pay attention to the details, guys. You have to really go back and read. Okay, last but not least, this is our last question for this passage. What does the order of the information of the selection help the reader understand? So think about chronological order. Think about the timeline that we were mentioning at the beginning. So today's passage was mostly about chronological order, even though we had one compare and contrast question. So what does the order of the information that is presented to us in this passage help the reader understand? Who is the reader? Guys, who is the reader in this passage? We are.
Us. Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
turn off your microphone. Please turn off your microphone. Thank you. Now, what does this information tells us as the readers? We are the readers. We are the people reading the story, right? So because this information is presented to us in a certain way, in order from the beginning to the end, how does that help us understand? For this question, I need a volunteer that can come up from mute, one at a time. Aaron, let's start with, actually, Aaron, thank you so much for participating, but everyone else needs to participate too, not just Aaron. So I'm going to choose someone.
Okay.
Let's see. Vamos a ver. Angel Carrasco. What do you think? Is Angel Carrasco there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
What does the order of the information of the selection help the reader understand? Like we already know that it's in chronological order. We already know that it's like a timeline. It's showing us from well, not from the beginning. Yeah, from the beginning to the end. So
Yeah,
how does that help us?
it helps us understand the ways that like these games changed over time and the new things that were added or like changed about it.
Changed over time and the new um, that were added depending in where they came from, right?
Yes.
So the order of the information helps us understand how these games change over time and the new things that were added over the years. So remember, when we're answering these questions, just like I call you out, I actually wanted to call you out, but I'm not going to do that. But you have to write in complete sentences, right? You have to say, even if you say the order of the information helps us understand how these games change over time and the new things that were added over the years. Thank you very much, Angel Carrasco. Let's see. I'm going to choose someone else. Eduardo Gonzalez. What do you think? How would you answer this question, Eduardo?
Uh, there's different games.
Okay. So what does that have to do with the order of the information? Remember, it's from the beginning to the end, right? Chronological order. The order.
That
How does that help us, the reader? How does that help us understand the story?
that a different timeline.
Okay. Maybe it's easier for us to kind of like get the bigger picture because we're, you know, because the information is organized.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the timeline. It is easier for the reader to understand the information because it gives us a timeline. Eduardo says it gives us a timeline. Um, it's easier for the reader to understand the information because it gives us a timeline from the beginning to the end. To the end. Do you see how I am writing my responses in complete sentences, guys? The same way that I am writing these responses in complete sentences. That's how I expect you guys to write when you take your quizzes, when you do the tests. We are done with fifth grade, guys. You are technically sixth graders. You're big kids now. So in sixth grade, in middle school, they expect you guys to write in complete sentences when you write your essays. So I just want to make sure that you guys are prepared to answer these questions when you go to middle school next year. So yeah, so we have a couple of different responses. Gracias, Eduardo. Thank you, Angel Carrasco. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Deshaun, for always participating. So we are officially done with that passage. Just as the same way that I answer these questions, guys, that I go back to the story and I, look for evidence. The way that I kind of like break it down, I think about, okay, is this a compare and contrast question? Is this chronological order question? Is this a main idea question? The same way that I am thinking out loud, that is the same way that I want you guys to think when you guys are answering these questions. Because on Thursday, when I give you a passage, I'm no longer going to help you. So it's going to be all by yourself, right? So the same way that we did it today, that's the same way that we should be doing it all the time. Now we're going to take a brain break. It is 9:33. We are taking a brain break officially. And for our brain break, we have a special Kahoot today. With everything going on, we had circle time yesterday. We talked about the coronavirus yesterday. So our Kahoot game is going to be about that. Actually, not really, but it's going to be about us, what we're supposed to be doing. So at this time, everyone can go to Kahoot.it, put in your code. This is our brain break. It is 9:34, so it is perfect time. We're just on time.
Good morning, Mr. Lobos. Can Lawrence and Richard log into my class?
Oh yeah, perfect.
All right.
So Lawrence and Richard, you guys could go with Miss McGrew. Thank you for coming.
I put the code on the chat if they don't know how to get it.
Okay.
Okay.
I see it. JKU7CAR. Oh, and Julian, you missed when I showed everyone the total points, but you can find that in Google Classroom. I put up a homework assignment. You have 36 points, Julian. Sorry, I took that away. Do we have any more players?
3 of them.
We
So
have
how?
like 2 or 3 more players. So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds.
We got Lawrence, Julian, Eduardo, Ryan, Angel Carrasco, me.
Who else? Lawrence, I think Miss McGrew wanted you to go with her because she's going to do her own lesson. Lawrence and Richard. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. Oh, that's fine. Let's start. Angel C, followed by Ryan. Please, no one choose the blue. Unless that's the name of your own
Mr.
pet.
Lowell's the screen is laggy, so I can't see the question.
What happened?
My thing is laggy, so I can't see the question.
I'm going to say the question out loud. What is a germ? Can you see it now? I made the screen bigger. The question is, germs are located where in the classroom? You have to fill in the blank. Germs are located where? Oh my goodness. Can you see it now, Julian? Julian, hello?
What?
Can you see the question now?
Whenever I see it, it just the question ends.
Let's try again. Can you log out and log back in? How can we see germs, guys? How can we see germs? Like, can I see germs with my naked eye, just like by looking at it? Okay, so we have Angel, we have Brian, we have Aaron, and then we have Eduardo. Julian, I'm so sorry. Maybe it's gonna work if you log out. Germs can blink very quickly from person to person, making them sick. Spread. Germs can spread very quickly, right? Okay, one more. If you are sick and have to miss school, you will need to do what? If you are sick and you have to miss school, you will need to do what? Julian, you can still log out and log back in to see if it works. Okay. What part of your body should cover coughs when you sneeze? That was simple, right? Your elbow, never your hands. Never sneeze on your hands because then you're gonna have germs all over your hands. Use your elbows. Okay. Last but not least, this is our last question. The first step of hand washing is, actually, let's do two more questions. What is the first step that you need to do for washing your hands? The second step of hand washing is, after you rinse your hands, apply soap to your hands, correct? The third step of hand washing is what? Okay. Wow, you guys are all going out. I don't know how many steps there are, guys. Honestly, I thought, I never really count them. And this is the last question. Is it a good idea to wash your hands before you eat? There should be one answer for this, guys. A unanimous answer. Everyone should get it right. What? Who said no? It's not a good idea to wash your hands before you eat. That's a given, people. We should do that. We should do that. Okay, that was our last question. So our winner for today is Angel Carrasco, followed by Ryan. So I'm gonna document that in the points that we have.
Oh my
So
god.
Angel, let me
It's just
see.
because like
Angel Carrasco is going to get
It was
three.
going back and forth to Aaron to me.
no, it's just because like my iPad is like glitching. It say like it was like still loading up like all my points, and I couldn't answer that question.
Angel Carrasco, you have 9 points now. And then Mr. Vargas, you have your first point for Kahoot, and you have 25 points. Aaron, you still have more points in line. You have 36 points, 37. So you're fine. You're fine. And Angel Carrasco only has 1 point more than you, 38. You should be fine with that. It's good. No tienes que preocuparte. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, people, let's go back. Now we finish our brain break, which is really good. We have a small mini lesson for the word study. It's not too bad, honestly. This mini lesson for word study. I'm going to need a volunteer to help me read again. Don't know what happened to my. Oh, okay. Who would like to volunteer for me to read? Vamos a ver. Angel? Angel and Deshaun. Angel. Aaron. Aaron, you could start. You could read this paragraph.
Word parts, sub, or super. Latin words often give clues to a word meaning. You can confirm a word's origin by looking it up in a dictionary. These word parts often come at the beginning of a word. Ad meaning sub means under or near, and super means above and beyond.
So remember, any words that you see that start with sub, that means under something, like subverse, or I don't like. We're gonna look at a bunch of words right now. Under.
Or like submarine.
Submarine. It means like a boat under the water, right? And then anything that says super means above. And then Deshaun, you can read this.
The word part sub added to the base word, make what great created sub base, which means an underground way or path.
If you know the meaning of the word part super, you can decode the word supervisor and infer its meaning. Someone who is in charge, right? A supervisor is someone who is in charge. And then we have a couple of examples that we're going to do. We're going to do 4 examples before you do your exit ticket. So use word parts to decode each word and infer its meaning. Use your knowledge of word parts or a dictionary to define each word, right? What is a huge store? Out of the words that are given to us, guys.
Supermarket.
Out of these words, this is a word bank right here.
Oh, superstore.
And you have to create a sentence with it. We can say Walmart is an example of a superstore. A underwater ship, easy. Submarine, right?
Yeah.
One day, I would like to, I don't know.
Take a ride on a submarine.
Good shit.
No shouting, guys. An area near a city. Which one is an area near a city? Does anyone,
Uh,
does anyone know?
is it supersede?
No. It's a
Suburb?
suburb. It's a suburb.
Oh, I don't know what a
But
suburb is.
you know when people say I live in the suburbs, meaning
Mhm.
they don't like I don't live in the suburbs. I live in the city. I live near downtown. But you
Oh
guys
yeah,
live
the suburbs. I know what you're talking about.
but you guys live in the suburb. Well, you live in the city too. So I don't know. I guess like if it's a little farther away from the city, that is a suburb. For example, I am from the suburbs. I am from the suburbs of New York City because my family's from Long Island. So a suburb is just an area outside the city. And number five, to take the place of something would be what? What is the last word? Supersede. Would anyone like to do a sentence with supersede? Julian? Julian has been quiet today. Julian, can you give us a sentence with supersede? Supersede means to take the place of something. Juliana, fell asleep?
Can I use a sentence?
Okay, do the sentence.
So it's to take the place of something. Oh, Angel Carrasco did that word in our Kahoot game to take place of something like first place.
Okay, there's different ways to put it. So to take place of something. But in this case, it's literally to take place of something. It could be used as a metaphor too. But
Oh,
so Angel Carrasco, I don't know. I kind of like I want it to be a little bit more accurate. Give me 1 second.
Like Angel Carrasco is the best author in the classroom. He knows how to draw better than anybody. I don't know about Aaron, because it's a competition. Competition.
hey, Tishan, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the total.
I know.
The older models of a car, guys. Let's think about car. Have now been superseded. Que significa eso? What does that mean? It means that there's new cars that come out every single year, right? So my car that is 5 years old, you have already been superseded because new cars are being built every day or every year. That'd be my example.
Some company cars make new cars, or new
Mhm.
cars come to Fort Worth.
Mhm.
One time I
Um,
saw a McLaren.
that's basically it for today, guys. Do you have any questions about this? About the meaning? These are prefixes and suffixes, right?
No, I just want to say goodbye and
No, Deshaun, we have to do the exit ticket before we leave.
that's joking.
We have to do the exit ticket first.
It's
Okay,
nice
do
that
you go to
you.
Google Classroom?
Yes, at this time, everyone goes to Google Classroom
Wait,
for
I'm still voting in.
day number 9, people. Day number 9.
Yeah.
Spell words with sub and super. This one is easy, guys. It's easier than the one that we just did right now. Dusan, can you mute your microphone? It's really loud.
Me?
Okay. So the activity that we just did right now, guys, is harder than the actual exit ticket. The exit ticket is pretty easy. You just have to separate the words into two categories. So at this time, everyone goes to Google Classroom under day number 9 and complete your exit ticket. Make sure you complete your exit ticket before you exit out today. Angel Carrasco, for some reason, you are not completing your exit ticket or you're not turning it in. Like you are doing it. I see that you're doing your exit ticket, but you never turn it in. Make sure that you actually turn it in every day. So far, I saw 2 exit tickets that were not turned in. So just be cautious with that. When you finish your work, actually turn it in. Eduardo Gonzalez. Eduardito. Eduardo, did he fall asleep? The reason I like for you guys to, to be present, guys, is so that you are paying attention. Do you have any questions, Eduardo? Can you do your exit ticket?
Yeah, I could do it.
Okay. At this time, go to Google Classroom. Under day number 9, that is your exit ticket for today. You have 6 minutes, which is more than enough time. The only thing you have to do is separate the words into 2 categories. That's it. You don't have to write
Alright.
sentences. You don't have to write sentences. You don't have to do anything else. You just have to separate the words into 2 categories. But make sure you're actually separating the words correctly. And in the meantime that we do that, I am going to put up the homework.
It isn't working.
It is working, Deshaun. You just have to refresh it.
Oh,
I checked it this morning. I usually check it every single morning. When it doesn't work, it means that you have to log out, log back again, make sure you're clicking on the right homework.
It works for me.
Let me know, guys, if you have any questions about anything. For homework number 3, I just put it up. It's due tomorrow. I gave you guys a Google document, so you don't have to worry about that. You just open the Google document. You can edit there. Just bear with me 1 second.
Um, Mr. Lobo,
Yes, sir.
I completed the whole spelling thing.
Everything?
Mm-hmm.
Have you turned in all your homework assignments? Have you turned in all your exit tickets? Everything?
Well, I haven't completed the Bill of Rights. I've done the paper. It's just I need to turn it in. But I did all the extra
Start your
credits.
spelling homework.
All the spelling. I'm missing the Bill of Rights scene and the new one that you just posted.
I just posted the new one. Refresh your page.
No. Oh wait, on the Swabas?
What?
I'm done with everything. I'm not
Start
done
your
with the
spelling.
Bill from
Start your
Rights.
spelling. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll just try this one.
Because the Bill of Rights is going to take longer. So just start the spelling. Aaron.
Mr. Lobos, I've done the who, what, when, where, and why on the Bill of Rights.
Oh, you could do that one too. It's fine. You could do that one too.
No,
Not sure what you're trying to ask, Aaron. So you finished the Bill of Rights? Oh, okay. The only thing you have to do is answer the questions. Choose one of the questions.
hey,
Remember,
what?
you have to go to the reflect and share, the reflect and share question,
Oh,
and you have to answer the question on the reflect and share. Yeah.
it says complete reflection share portion on the right sidebar of the reading. Scroll all the way at the bottom to write your responses on a piece of paper.
So that's the only thing you have to do. Make sure you write your reflect and share question. It usually asks you 2 questions, sometimes 3. You just have to choose 1 or 2.
Okay. Well, see you later, Mr. Lobos.
You could go to Mr. Pasa's class, okay?
Okay.
Have
Bye.
a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Mr. Lobos.
Yes, sir.
I'm almost done.
Make sure you finish though. Make sure you turn it in before you go. Buenos días, Emanuel. Buenos días, Josué. Buenos días, Kayla. Buenos días, chicos. Buenos días. For Julian, for Deshaun. Oh.
There we go.
Good morning, Desmarina.
Alright, goodbye. I'm done.
You're done?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Deshaun is done, so he can leave. Go to Mr. Pasa's class. Just a quick reminder, guys, you have to come up to both classes. Buenos días, chicos. Buenos días. Let's give everyone like a minute to join. Ruby Moreno, buenos días. Oh, guys, we have 16 people. We have 14 people in our class. That's pretty good. Good morning, Diego. Good morning. Desmarina, can I speak to you, Desmarina? Because I haven't seen you in a little bit. Can you come off mute for a second? Yes. Yes, Desmarina. Everyone else, can you mute your microphone? Josue, give me a second. Okay, Desmarina. I just wanted to let you know that you're supposed to be joining my class at 9 to 10 in the morning. And then at this time from 10 to 11, you're supposed to join Mr. Paz's class. But I think you did the opposite, right? You went to Mr. Paz's class first?
Mhm.
Okay. So just make sure tomorrow you switch. You do like 9 a.m. to 10 for Mr. Paz.
So I go with you
Stay.
first.
No, yeah, you go with me first. So you actually you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I get what you did. You probably went to his class first and then you came to this class.
Mhm.
So starting tomorrow, you come to my class first at 9 a.m. and
Okay.
then you go to Mr. Paz at this time. But you could stay here. Like don't worry, because I think you went to his class already. That's why he texted me.
Yeah.
Okay. So just make sure like you're on the right schedule. That way it's not mixed up. Because I'll speak Spanish in this class and you'll be like, what? But it's mostly English, but I'll speak Spanish a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So stay here. Don't leave. Chicos, vamos a comenzar. We're going to start class right now. We're going to do it by answering one question. So the question of the day for today, and I'm going to show that to y'all. Let me know if you can't see my screen so that I can share my presentation with everyone. Here. Can everyone see that? Yes? So, if you had any two powers, superhero powers, what would they be? Write your answer on the chats. Si tuvieras dos poderes extraordinarios, ¿qué poderes escogerías? Escribes tus respuestas en los chats. Let's see how creative people can get with this question. I'm going to give everyone about another minute. In the meantime, I want to go over the agenda for today like we always do. This is our agenda. Today is Wednesday. It is June 17th of 2020. We are starting with the question of the day. After that, we are going to complete our cold read. After a cold read, we're going to complete a brain break, which is going to be a Kahoot game. Then we're going to have a mini word study lesson. And then finally, we're going to have our exit ticket for the day number 9. After today, guys, there's officially only 4 days left of summer school. Only 4 days. And that's it. We're done. So we're more than 50%. We're like 65 to 70% done with the whole summer school. Okay, this is our agenda for today. So Emmanuel said fire and time. Emmanuel, can you explain that to us? Manuelito, ¿qué significa fire and time? Like, ¿me escuchas, Emmanuel? You're on mute. Enrique, hacer dinero fácil y volar. Explícanos, ¿qué significa hacer dinero fácil?
Ganarme dinero sin hacer nada.
Ganarte dinero, pero ¿cómo? ¿Cómo te vas a ganar dinero? Like, solo va a aparecer en los
Wait,
árboles el
hello?
dinero. Yes, Emmanuel.
It wasn't working. Well, fire and time is I have superpowers of fire and I can move the time. Like,
So, have you guys seen the Airbender, the last Airbender on Netflix? So
yeah.
would it be like the Fire Nation? Is that what you're saying? Like the Fire Nation? Like you have superpowers?
No.
No.
Vicky's over here asking me a question, but
My superpower is fire and move time.
And
I
move
can go
time.
back then and back here.
Perfect. Perfect. Ahora, Ruby says that she would fly.
this is not no.
Magali Garcia, drink coffee every day. Okay. I like coffee too. Diego, my superpower would be to freeze things. Yael, have all the elements. Okay. Juan wants to be Iron Man. Does Marina flying and being strong. Allison, she would like to read people's minds in the future. It's cool. Evelyn, saber todo. Evelyn, can you come off and mute, Evelyn? Dinos qué quieres. ¿Dónde está Evelyn? No. Josué, ¿no sabes, Josué? William Moreno, run fast and fly. Kayla, she would fly, read people's mind. Josué, I still don't know what you mean by that. Yael have the power of the zero. I don't know what that is, but it sounds really cool. And then Jocelyn Martinez. ¿Qué significa Jocelyn Poderes de Ciencia? Dinos, explícanos. Jocelyn says she just got in her blankie and she disappeared. It's fine. We're shy. Some of us are shy. It's cool. Okay. I guess for me would be flying. I would like to fly because I think I would need a car, so I don't have to pay money for car insurance. Flying would be ideal to work. But also being super strong, that would be a superhero power that I would
Mister,
like.
you know you can fly on fire too.
Yeah, I believe you.
He can turn into fire and then you just go on as a fireball.
Yeah.
Or maybe just like with my hands, I just could go like Iron Man.
But I also don't want to be. I also don't want to be scary though. I don't want people to be scared to see a huge fireball coming at them. You know.
Oh, okay.
So I want to be like, pretty productive with what we do. Okay, so this is cool. I just wanted to be creative because I saw that on Netflix there was that show, and I was like, hopefully the kids. I want to see what what ideas they have. ¿Qué ideas tienen? And I know some of you guys like superheroes, and so I was like, it's pretty cool for them.
Do you
If
need
you're
Avatar?
flying, you have to watch out by the birds.
True. Buenos dias, Michelle. Good morning, Michelle. Okay, so I think everyone is here right now. I think we have 17 students. We have a total of 17 students, 18 students in our class. So everyone is here. We are officially going to start, guys. We did the question of the day. We saw the agenda. We took attendance. So I just need some volunteers to help me begin with the call read. Who would like to help me read the passage? Ruby. Ruby's going to be number 1. Who's going to be number 2 for extra credit points? Jocelyn Martinez is going to be second paragraph. Josue is going to be third paragraph. And Kayla is going to be fourth paragraph. And Emmanuel is going to be fifth paragraph. So we have our people. Okay. So vamos a ver. Vamos a regresarnos. We're going to go back to the reading. Today we're going to read a passage, and it's called Hoop Games. So this is going to be really interesting. It's going to show us about the history of hoops, dating back to the Greek and the Romans thousands of years ago. So vamos a comenzar con Ruby. Ruby, you can read the first paragraph. Whenever you're ready, Ruby.
Is your screen?
Is that showing my screen?
No.
Oh. It says that it is showing my screen, but I'm going to show it again.
Oh, it's finally showing now.
If you're listening to pop music in the background, por favor, lo puedes. Jocelyn?
Okay, see now.
Oh, it's Ruby. You can start, Ruby.
Everyday hoop games. Everyday child can be found playing.
Games?
Everyday children can't be found playing games at recess. The history some games may be unknown, but we know the story of hoop games, which started long ago.
Jocelyn, the second paragraph.
Thousands of years ago, and
Ancient. Ancient Greeks.
ancient Greeks and Romans used cups for
Hoops.
fun and exercise.
Exercise.
These early hubs were made out of material at work from
Metal.
metal at work from the time shows children and adults rolling hubs. In this game, people would
Hit a hoop.
hit a hoop with a stick to get it rolling, and then they would run after it, trying to keep the hoop going.
Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. Who was next? I forgot. Was it Josue?
Yes.
Okay, Jocelyn, can you mute your microphone, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Josue.
In the
1400s.
1400s, hob rolling was
Pop, popular.
popular in England. In fact, it was so popular that the where am I?
Colonists, right here. Colonists.
Colonists brought ¿Cuál es esa word, Mr. Lobos?
¿Cuál palabra? ¿Esta? ¿O esta?
En el lado de
Brought.
It's brought. Yeah.
Colonists brought.
Collins brought that game with to America, and children's and colonial times would have
hoop contest.
Hoop
contest they would pay to see how far and fast they could push the cup with sticks.
Mhm.
Some children would play a game called grasses in which a
Child.
child would a hop on two crosses sticks. They toss the hop to another person. This person will try to catch it with one of the sticks.
Thank you so much, Josue, for your participating. Now you can put yourself on mute. So then Emmanuel is gonna go. I think Kayla was next too.
Okay, in the 18th, hoops rolling became more popular than ever. Many paintings of children from this time, including hoops, children began to
Emmanuel.
play some different.
Emmanuel, slow
Yeah,
down, Emmanuel. You don't have to like. There's periods. See, after hoops, there's a period.
yeah,
Just
okay.
slow down a little bit, okay? Let's start
Okay,
again. In the 1800s.
in the 18th, in the 1800s, hoop rolling became more popular than ever. Many paintings of children from this time include hoops. Children began to play some different games, such as trying to knock objects over with the rolling hoops and using the hoops for skipping. Many of these games were played on city streets. The hoops were made from both metal and wood, but wooden hoops were more popular.
Thank you. And ahora el último, the last paragraph, I think it was Kayla. Where's Kayla? If you can't hear Kayla, you can always try to log out and then come back in again. Sometimes I know with the sound, it makes some mistakes. Okay, you did? Sorry about that. I have all the volume up actually. Hopefully that works. That's okay, Kayla. Who else would like to volunteer to read the last paragraph? Ruby?
Me.
Who said me? Jared. Jared, you can go now for the last
All
one.
right. In the late 18 what
1800s.
1800s and early 1900s, children continued to play similar hoop games. However, city streets started to become more crowded and the children were in the way of other people. The popularity of hoop rolling game came to an end. Today, people still play with the hoops, but it's in different ways.
Thank you guys. So I just want to say thank you guys for everyone that participated for Emmanuel. We had Ruby, we had Josue, we had Jocelyn Martinez. Thank you guys for participating. Now, what we're going to do like we always do is look at the question, and I'm going to go back again and read it a second time, but this time I'm going to read it. Remember, we read it at least twice. That way we can understand every detail that happens in the story. However, I want you guys to think about the question as I'm reading it. What is the overall structure of this selection? So how is this passage written? Is it written in chronological order? A, B, is it a cause and effect? C, is it a problem and solution? Or D, is it comparing and contrasting? So as I'm reading it, think about the answer to this question. And then you could document your answers on the chat so we can go over that in a second. The name of the passage is Hoop Games. Every day, children can be found playing games at recess. The history of some games may be unknown, but we know the story of hoop games, which started long ago. Thousands of years ago, ancient Greeks and Romans used hoops for fun and exercise. These early hoops were made out of metal. Artwork from that time shows children and adults rolling hoops. In these games, people would hit a hoop with a stick to get it rolling, and then they would run after it, trying to keep the hoop going. In the 1400s, Hoop rolling was very popular in England. In fact, it was so popular that the colonists brought the game with them to America. And children in colonial times would have hoop contests. They would play to see how far and fast they could push the hoop with sticks. Some children would play a game called graces, in which a child would hold a hoop on two crossed sticks, then toss the hoop to another person. This person would try to catch it with one of the sticks. In the 1800s, hoop rolling became more popular than ever. Many paintings of children from this time included hoops. Children began to play some different games, such as trying to knock the objects over with the rolling hoops and using the hoops for skipping. Many of these games were played on city streets. The hoops were made from both metal and wood, but wooden hoops were more popular. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, children continued to play similar hoop games. However, city streets started to become more crowded, and the children were in the way of other people. The popularity of hoop rolling games came to an end. Today, people still play with hoops, but in different ways. Okay, excellent job, guys. Now that we read the passage twice, which is the best response? What is the overall structure of this selection? Jocelyn says D. I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds for you guys to document your responses, and we're going to go over it together. Okay. So I see Ruby says D, Juan says D, Jared says D, Josue D, Jocelyn D. Everyone is picking D. Remember, guys, just because your friends are picking D, that doesn't mean that you can't put another answer. Everyone can put, there's multiple answers, so you can disagree with your friend. Okay, just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so most people, I see like the majority of everyone is putting D. We got a new answer. Ruby says that she has proof. Okay, Ruby. So everyone is saying D, compare and contrast. Ruby, would you like to share that proof with us? Would you like to come up with speaker? You don't have to, Ruby, but you can if you want to. And Allison picked D. Ruby, you're muted, so I can't hear you.
Like in the 1880s, they're playing it with the stick. Now in 1920s, they're playing it with the ball, I think.
Okay. Was that everything that you wanted to say? I think you were saying something before and we couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's because I was just saying the same thing.
Okay, no problem. Jared also says, thank you, Ruby, for participating. That's a good answer, actually. She's saying that it's comparing and contrasting because they're comparing two different time periods, 1890s, 1920s. Jared also says because they're comparing something. You know what? I actually agree with you guys. So I looked at the answer for this question, and it actually says that it's A. And I'm going to explain to you guys why it says that it's A. But the second best answer for this question is D, comparing and contrasting. And you are correct, because for most people that pick D, it is actually comparing this game, hoop games, from different time periods, right? It's comparing it from thousands of years ago from the ancient Greeks. It's comparing from England and also the colonies, and in the 1800s in the United States, and also in the 1900s. So if that was the case, that we are talking about different countries and different people, it would be comparing and contrasting. However, I'm going to show you why the best answer for this one is actually chronological order, because the question is talking about the structure of the selection. So when we're talking about structures, we go back to what we were doing last week about text features, right? About how this passage is organized. And the best answer would be chronological order, because it begins with thousands of years ago, Then it goes into the 1400s. Then it goes into the 1800s. And then it finalizes in the 18 to early 1900s. So when it talks about the structure, we have to be very careful with the different vocabulary. The way that they ask us these questions is actually talking about how it is written, how the passage is written. So the best answer would be chronological order, from the beginning, thousands of years ago, to early history, the 1900s. And this actually goes back to the timeline that we were doing yesterday. In last class, Aaron actually shared something. He told us it's chronological order because we've been doing timeline the past couple of days, and timeline has to do with years. So that would be the answer for that. But the second best answer would be comparing and contrasting, guys, which is awesome. Thank you guys for sharing your responses. So now let's go to question number 2. Pregunta número 2. And this, what I just gave you, the answer, guys, is going to help you with this question. So which detail from the selection gives clues about the overall structure? So now we have to find evidence, right? That text evidence. So which details from this passage is going to give us a clue about the overall structure? Okay, let me give you another 10, 15 seconds so you guys can document your questions on the chats. So now that we said that it's in chronological order and we're talking about a time period, which detail can give us a clue about the overall structure? Is it F, in the 1400, hoop rolling was popular? Is it G, how far and fast it could push the hoop? Is it H, hoop rolling became more popular? Or is it J, children were in the way? Okay. Yes, Miss Harper. Thank you. Ruby says J, Josue says H, Evelyn says H. Yeah, it says H. Allison J, Jocelyn and Juan. You guys are seeing J. Let's go back. Again, guys, let me give you a clue. We're still talking about the structure, right? So this is one of those questions, guys, that is related to the question before it. So this question number 2 is related to question number 1. If the answer to question number 1 was chronological order, what is a clue in the story that can gives us the answer that it is chronological order? Or what is a clue, a piece of evidence from the passage that tells us that it's in chronological order? That's basically what it's telling us. Ruby Alvarez says F. So most people said H and J. The correct answer, guys, is F. Ruby is correct. In the 1400, hoop rolling was popular. Why? It is the only answer that we have that mentions a year or a time period. So if we're talking about the structure and we're saying that it is in chronological order from the beginning to the end, right? In the 1400s, hoop rolling was popular is the only answer. It's not the best answer, guys, but is the only answer that it actually mentions like a time period or a date. So it gives us a detail about the structure. Everything else is mostly like an opinion or an additional detail. But everyone was trying, so that's fine as long as we try to get the best answer right. Question number 3. Now this, guys, is a different type of question. So we've been doing structure, and let's read this question. What do most Greek and Roman hoop games have in common with English and American ones? So now this is a comparing and contrasting question. Compare and contrast. Because now we're comparing Greek and Roman hoop games with English and American ones. So based on the story, what details from the story tells us what they have in common? What do all of those games have in common? What do the Greek, what do the Roman, what do the English, and what do the American ones have in common? Is it that hoops were made from metal? All of the hoops were made from metals, guys? Is that true? Is it that the games needed sticks to play? Is it C, they knocked objects over with the hoops? Or D, they brought the games with them to the colonies? Which one is the best response? I'll repeat the question as you guys are documented in the chats. What do most Greek and Roman hoop games have in common with English and American ones? So this is a compare and contrast question. You guys could go back to the story whenever you forget. Sometimes I do that. I forget. I go back to the story. Okay. Let's see the best responses. Vamos a ver. Everyone is picking D. Everyone is picking D. Everyone is picking A. Everyone is picking B. Everyone is picking C. Okay. For this question, would someone come off of mute? I would like someone to come off of mute. And what is the answer? Ruby.
I think it's A or D.
I
A
think
or
it's
D?
B.
Wait, who said it was B? Who said it was B? Kayla? Why do you think it was B, Kayla?
Because
She was like, "Oh, baby, you're fine." She was like, she's like, "Not because
no, not B.
it's
No,
not happening right away."
You're correct. You're correct, Kayla. It is B. It is B. Why do you think it's B? If you feel kind of shy, you could write your answer. You don't have to say something. You could just write your response on the chats. I don't want to force you to speak. But the answer is B, guys, because it is comparing and contrasting all of those, right? Now, were all the hoops made out of metal?
No.
No, not all the hoops were made out of metal. Some of them were made out of wood. It tells us right there that some were made out of wood. But what they all have in common, guys, is that they all needed sticks to play the game. All of them. If you go back to the story, all of them needed sticks to play the game. So that's why is the correct answer. Everything else is not related to the question. Last but not least, this is the last question. Now, for this question, it's going to be different. I'm going to need two participants to give me two different responses. And remember, we're going to write incomplete sentences for this question. What does the author, or what does the order of the information of the selection help the reader understand? So let's go back to chronological order. How does chronological order? Chronological order means that the events are organized from the beginning to the end, right? So how does chronological order help us? We are the reader. How does it help us understand the story better? Can someone come off mute and tell me one at a time? Let's pick Desmarina. Let's pick someone else. Desmarina, how does chronological order helps us understand the story better in general? That way Ruby is not answering all the questions. Or anyone else could jump in too. Emmanuel, Jared. The order of the information best helps us understand the story by giving us a detailed account of different time periods. That could be one. What else? What else can we say? ¿Alguien más quiere decirnos algo? Remember, we write incomplete sentences when we do this. Does anyone else want to say something? No? Okay, everyone is a little shy right now. That's fine. Um, we can also say that, vamos a ver, the order of the information best helps us understand the story by giving us a detailed account of different time periods. You can also say um, the reader can best compare and contrast hoops um, in different cultures because we can analyze the events throughout time, right? Those are two responses. So the reader can best compare and contrast hoops in different cultures. When we talk about hoops, we're talking about the hoop games in different cultures because we're able to analyze the events throughout time. Everything is organized. It's easy for us to understand. We don't need to go back and forth. We don't need to be from the beginning to the end, back to the middle. No, everything is organized from the beginning to the end. So the reader can best understand that because we have the events organized. So when we do question number 4, guys, when we do a test, when we do an exit ticket, I want you guys to write incomplete sentences. I was telling the first class that you guys are already in middle school. Technically, guys, you're basically 6th graders now. So once you go to middle school, you're going to be expected to write incomplete sentences, write essays. So I just want to make sure that you guys are prepared. So when we take a quiz on Thursday, which is tomorrow, or when we do our exit ticket, guys, I want you to put your best responses, okay? To put everything in. You begin with a capital letter, you end with a period or a question mark, whichever, um, whichever kind of statement you're trying to make, and make sure you're writing in complete sentences, complete thoughts. That way you get full credit. So that's basically it, guys. Today we talked about chronological order, and we talked a little bit about comparing and contrasting as well. Um, for the purpose of this class, we are going to take a quick brain break. Vamos a tomar un quick brain break, okay? And for the brain break, we're going to do something educational. What does that mean? Vamos a jugar un juego de Kahoot, but it's going to be educational. We're going to talk about, no, I lost it. No, I didn't. We're going to talk about a little bit about germs and about how not to get sick. So at this time, you can go to kahoot.it, put in your code. This is going to be a brain break for about 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes, before we do our word study mini lesson and we finish our exit ticket. And we're basically done for today.
I'm about to log in, Mr. Lobos. Hold
Okay.
up.
I'll give you another minute, guys. Uh, I know this Marina wasn't here at the beginning, but there's actually a competition. Des Marina, you can get points for every Kahoot game that you win. You get 2 points of extra credit for every Achieve article, which is extra credit. Achieve articles are extra credit during summer school. You get 2 points if you have a 75% or higher, and you could win prizes. And all that information is in Google Classroom.
Mr. Lobos,
Yes, ma'am.
have you checked the homework and added all the points to?
Yes. If you looked at Google Classroom, I posted an assignment yesterday.
Yeah,
I
but you
gave
posted your class.
No, I posted both classes. You have to click on Mr. Paz and Mr. Lobos. Both of them are there. Let me show you. Now that you guys are logging in, I'll show you. You go here, you click on it, and over here at the bottom, you put Mr. Paz.
Oh.
Right now it's loading, but usually because I have so many screens. You see how many screens I have open? But if I only had one, it would be really fast. Right here. Ruby, you have 30 points right now. Who's on the lead? Yael. Yael has 36 points.
Mister, what about 24? Is it good? Because I have 24.
Yeah, and that's not counting the achieve articles. So if you've been doing achieve articles, you have like more points, but I haven't counted that yet. I'm gonna do that on Friday. So it's gonna be right here.
Okay, I'm gonna do some achieves because I haven't done none.
And the achieve articles are right here. These are the ones that you have to do.
I have done all of them, Mr. Lobos.
So if you did all of them and you got a 75% or higher, that's 14 points. So you have a 44.
Oh.
Mr. Lobos, what's
Get
the
100.
code?
Yes, sir.
What's the code?
800-258-7. Come on, guys.
825.87.
We have more than 12 people. We have like 14, 16 people. What happened to the other four?
It's like 4 and 8.
Let's see.
Jocelyn got out.
Who's messing?
Who's messy?
Who's
Me.
Messi?
And we're starting.
Boy.
It's me.
You
Which
wish.
of the following can make you sick? Getting germs on the inside or outside of your body. So you know how like your mom used to say something like,
Mister, but going outside with a coat, Mister, you get a lot of germs because the germs. It's mostly outside. You know they spread out.
Yeah, they
like,
spread out everywhere.
Mr.
I know.
Like even in the stores.
Our mom
Wait, let me
say that
say something.
my
Green. Put it
Guys,
in the time.
Mijito, you get
Déjeme decir algo rápido para que podamos continuar. You know how like your mom
Mister, mine is not going, yo.
your mom will say something like, for example, you can't go outside without your shoes on, right?
yeah.
Like, I'm not saying don't go outside without your shoes, but a lot of these things are part of our culture, guys. We're Latinos. This is part of our culture. It doesn't mean that it's true. Just putting it out there. It doesn't mean it's true. It's just part of our culture. Our mom used to say, don't go outside without your sandals. It's just an expression. But don't tell your mom that I said that because then she's probably going to get mad.
My mom's right beside me, you know.
Oh my god.
740.
What is a germ, guys? What is a germ?
COVID-19.
Huh? Okay. That the balloon is fake.
Oh my god.
Mister, mine is reloading. It's the square. It's the square for me.
Let's go. I got it right.
Mister, mine is not reloading. It didn't let me. But I choose.
Whoever said that a germ was a pet from Walmart, I'm curious as to why you posted that.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, come on, Germ, let's go.
Wow. Tutu.
Bing, 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 bing. Hey, hey. Ah.
Ew, that's disgusting.
Bing,
Go.
bing, 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 bing. Go.
Germs are tiny. How can we see them?
I forgot the name of that thing.
You remember the thing? You remember the
I
name?
got it wrong. Hey,
I
let's
got it
see.
right.
I got it right. Woo!
Mister, mine is still reloading. My Wi-Fi's real slow. Like,
Sorry about that.
I forgot the name of it, so that's why I got it wrong.
So easy, man.
germs can very quickly from person making you run, hop, swim, sprint.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hey!
I knew it was that one.
One question and that's it. The last question.
Okay.
If you are sick and you have to miss school, you will need to do what?
You sick? Have
I mean, I would love for you to bring me candy. I would love for you to do that, but
Gonna get it right, please. Lord Jesus.
Mister,
I
mine
want
is
to
still
get it right.
reloading.
Hey, let's go.
and our winners
Mine is
are
still reloading. Oh my god! Why is it so slow? Like, straight
I'm
up.
first place. Let's go.
Emmanuel. Next time that it reloads, try to log out and log in again.
I already did that, and it's still pushing. Like, it's so slow.
I'm sorry. Our winners for today are number one, Allison with 2 points, followed by Ruby. So I'm gonna put your points now in the system. So Allison,
I couldn't get to like upper if it was like not like
Allison
reloading
gets
every
2
time.
points. So now Allison has 26 points in total.
So
And
I
Ruby,
figured out
Hey, another question.
the problem. I had to go to the smart questions, not the smart right questions. That's the way to win.
Tell him, Jose.
yes, ma'am.
Can we do another question?
Unfortunately, if we do more questions, guys, we are not going to finish our exit ticket on time. And I still have to show you something really quick. So at this time, everyone, if you guys can help me finish the work study lesson really quick, I would really appreciate it. That is the last thing we need to do. This mini lesson is going to be really fast, like 2 minutes. So just bear with me another second so I can show you what you have to do for your exit ticket. And then we'll do a question. So don't log out. We'll do a question. So basically, starting today and tomorrow, we're going to focus on like prefixes and suffixes, or word parts. So with words that start with sub and super. So sub and super. So Latin word parts often give clues to the word meaning, right? You can confirm a word's origin by looking at the beginning of a word in a dictionary. These word parts often come at the beginning of a word, such as sub. Sub, guys, means under or near. Super, it means above and beyond. So the word part sub added to the base of the word creates subway, which means underground way or path. So for example, in New York City, we have the subway system. You don't have that here in North Texas, but in New York City, we have the subway system, right? And the subway system is a train that goes underground, under the ground, right? So it makes sense because sub means under or underneath, underground. If that makes any sense. Now, you're going to help me find the meaning for these 4 words. So which word goes here? A huge store is called what? Does anyone know? This is the word bank. The word bank is right here. You have to choose one of these words. A huge store is what?
Superstore.
Superstore.
Shout out the answers, okay? Superstore. An underwater ship is what?
A
Submarine.
Submarine. An area near a city. An area near a city.
oh we got that.
Store.
Super send.
Suburb.
What it?
Suburb.
Suburbs. Have you guys heard of the suburbs?
No.
Like for example, I'm from the suburbs. I live like 45 minutes from New York City, so that would be considered the suburbs, right? Now, you guys, and right now I'm living in downtown Fort Worth, so that's not the suburbs, that's the city. But if you live like in Hewlin or you live in what are some other areas outside of Fort Worth, but they're still part of the city, that's considered the suburbs. To take place of something is what? To take place of something.
Superset.
Supersede.
A superset.
Okay? So you see how the beginning of a word makes its meaning? That is what you're gonna do at this point. Everyone go to Google Classroom and everyone has to complete their exit ticket for day number 9. So you go, spell
Some
words with
people
sub.
already left.
I know they already left, but they are not gonna get credit for today. If you left, you do not get credit for today because you have to complete your
Allison
exit
left
ticket.
and Allison left.
Okay, so everyone has to complete their exit ticket. Does Marina?
Jared
That
left too.
he has to complete his exit ticket. Todos tienen que completar su exit ticket. You go to Google Classroom and you have to complete exit ticket for every single day. If you don't complete your exit ticket, that means that you don't get credit for being here. That's how I'm gonna know that you're understanding everything that we're learning during the day, right? So make sure that you turn it in. I am going to be here for the last 7 minutes. If you guys have any questions with your exit ticket, you cannot leave today's class without completing your exit ticket. You have to do that before you leave. Because Marina, I don't know what you're saying. Where are you at? What day? Day number 9. Today is day number 9, Marina. But you have to complete all of them because you weren't here for the other one. So you have to make sure that you finish all of the exit tickets. But for right now, do day number 9. Can someone tell Jared that he has to do it? I think Jared has some connection issues.
Supersonic.
How many do you have, Marina? You have everything, every homework that you're missing. I don't know, maybe like 10 homeworks in the past 2 or 3 weeks.
I'm just gonna go mute myself so you can hear.
And I'm for the next 4 minutes. Okay, I took my headphones off. ¿Quién está cantando? ¿Alguien está cantando? Kayla says that she's done. Kayla, I'm gonna check really quick. Give me a second. Yes, Kayla, you're done. You can go, Kayla. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
Mr. Lopez, that just was my sister singing.
What happened, Diego?
That was my sister singing.
Oh, that was your sister singing. Okay.
Mr. Levels is not letting me do the exit ticket.
Log out and log back in again. Some people, they have to log back in. I know the connection is terrible sometimes, but sometimes you just have to log back in.
Okay.
Yes, mine didn't work. Mine didn't went slow. Is the one we have to do is the 9?
Yes, day number 9.
Oh.
Para Ruby, this is your first day here in our class. I just want to let you know that before you exit or before you finish any class, at the end of the day, we have to do an exit ticket. What that means is that you have to go to Google Classroom. There's a folder that says exit ticket. You're going to see it right there. And it's going to be by day number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Today's day number 9. I'm going to tell you what day it is every single day. So today is day number 9, and you have to make sure that you complete your exit ticket before you leave class. Okay?
Mr. Lobos.
Yes, sir.
I'm done.
You're done? Vamos a ver. The exit ticket is pretty easy, guys. You just have to organize the words in 2 categories. And yeah, you are done. You may leave. You have a nice day.
Bye, Mr. Lobos. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. You have a nice day. Tomorrow is the last day of the week, guys. Please do not be absent. Last week, a lot of people were absent on Thursday. Do not be absent tomorrow. It is the last day of this week. And then after that, we only have 3 days left.
Okay, bye, Mr. Lobos.
Have a nice day, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Kayla finished. Julian finished. Aaron. I see that Diego is in progress. Emmanuel is doing it. Josue is doing it. Ruby's
I'm
doing
still
it.
doing it.
Jocelyn, Evelyn, Daphne, Desmarina is finishing hers. Magali, Juan, Enrique, Angel Carrasco. Jared has not begun. Michelle has not started her work. Okay. I'm still going to be here for you guys for the next 5 minutes, but I'm going to stop recording at this time for the purpose of this video.